BSUers.com, here with Mike Boshi, men's basketball coach, after an OT victory against MSU Moorhead. Mike, really a grinding, emotional game. Taking into overtime, just talk about the flow of the game and finally coming away with a victory in a close one.
Well, it was a battle. We got off to a good start. Moorhead battled back into it. They have a lot of good players that you knew it was going to be a good game. There's a couple moments in time where they felt like maybe they had it. They had a couple calls go their way. But our guys, I was really pleased with our guys just mentally staying tough. It didn't feel like we got frustrated. We kept on, just staying with it, making plays on the offensive end. We finally started getting some stops, and then Jermaine hit a big shot to win it for us. So huge game for us. Big one. It's nice to have a game that we kind of take from somebody, because I felt like we had a couple games taken from us in the past.
Anthony Tucker goes off, I believe, for 17 in the first half. Pretty quiet in the second half. Talk about a little about the decision of playing Jason Edwards and Michael Farrington on him defensively.
Well, the last time we played him, I didn't feel like we bothered him very much, and so this time we wanted to make him work for everything that he got. We wanted to make him work to bring up the court, just kind of being there the whole game. He's a talented kid. I knew he was going to get his stuff, but I just wanted to make him think about more than just scoring. And I felt like we did a good job tonight. Jason did a nice job hounding him. Mike Farrington came in and did a nice job hounding him as well. And regardless of how many points he scored, I felt like it bothered him a little bit, and that's all we're trying to do.
Obviously, you got the offensive production from a slew of guys, mostly starters, but talk a little about the defensive pressure as a whole, and then Maxi Rosenblum coming up with some big blocks and some key times.
Well, that's what we need. A lot of these games, when you're playing against high-caliber teams, are going to come down to the wire, and you need key stops. You need guys making plays on both ends of the floor, and we certainly had that. We need to have 4, 5 guys, and pretty much everybody just playing at a high level for us to be successful. And I felt like we did that offensively, and then defensively we made enough plays down the stretch to get us back into the game, because we were down 7, I think, in overtime, and we had some key stops late with Maxi's blocks, and then Jermaine just had a huge play, taking it to the rack, and was able to finish it.
BSUers.com, here's Zach Noreen after a big OT win against MSU Moorhead. Zach, you guys played a lot of minutes, the starters did. Were you fatigued at all in that overtime, or was the adrenaline pumping?
The adrenaline was going way too hard to feel the fatigue at all.
Just kind of talk about the flow of the game. No team really had a lead, besides you guys up early. After that, no team really had a lead more than a couple possessions. Let's talk about the flow of the game and the grind of the game.
Well, it was like the game of runs, really. That's all it was. First half, we were up by 10. They cut it back down to like 2, got it back up to 10 to 12, and they just cut it back down. But we knew that we're not going to blow this team out. They're way too good of shooters. They're way too balanced, and it was just a game of runs the whole time.
Just having some deja vu of last year, late game heroics, going to overtime at home, and then they just sort of pulled away. Started that way. You guys came back. What is it about the composure of this year compared to last year? Maybe it helps you guys through.
Well, I just think this year it has a lot to do with DMAC and Lance. I think those two together, they bring a lot of leadership in Lance. Every time we go out of the huddle, he's always telling us, focus, work on the defensive end, everybody talk. He's a big part of why we are so composed.
Put a lot of pressure on Jermaine to be the guy this year. Couldn't do it at the end of regulation, but found that bucket at the end of OT. How important is that for not only him, but also the team as a whole?
I think it's 100% important for him. I mean, he missed a couple ones, but they were tough. I think we put a lot of pressure on him, and that kind of got to him. But for him to get this, it's great. It's great for us, and it's great for him.
You guys have had a lot of Friday night battles that haven't gone your way and came out Saturday a little sluggish. How important is it to get a win now going into another big game against Northern State tomorrow?
Another win would be great. I mean, these are the top 2 teams in the conference, on top of another team who's number 1 right now. But to beat these 2 teams at home, and then to go into the next week and get another top 2 teams, it's going to be big for us to come up with a W.